everybody. It's Sakimoto24. I've got Goomer22 and the infamous Ted on the line.
Hello,
And
hello. Back after.
so you can still see my screen.
Yep.
All right. So I guess we'll begin in like 3, 2, 1 or some 3, 2, 1. All
Okay.
right. All right, everybody. It's Sakimoto24. I've got Goomer22 and the infamous Ted on the line.
Hello,
And
hello. Back after a while.
Hey,
so we're gonna go through week one matchups and then power rankings. Slightly different than the week 0 power rankings. This is mainly based off of how you performed in week 1, and then it has a little bit to do with the analysis from week 0. So I guess we can hop in and talk about some of the matches. We had a lot of great week 1 matches this week, so kind of excited to talk about them. I guess let's just go down the list. Bolton Bashers take the 2-0 over Crushing Silvalis. I mean, Goomer, this is your team. What did you think about the matchup and how it went and all that stuff? I watched the games and it was intense.
yeah, it was very intense. And before I talk about it, yeah, I'd just like to say that the the first week, I'm sure we're all getting used to this format, and it may be some people's first draft game ever even. So, the PR is going to just try to take into account how you played and everything, and it'll develop as we all get used to the format because in our teams, of course. So there's a lot of new stuff going on this season, so should be exciting. And yeah, yes, speaking of exciting, my game was uh, quite a thrill. So game one was kind of interesting. Um, we were both obviously learning each other's sets and items, and the I was really surprised to not see the Raichu game one. So Crushing Chevaliers have a really strong electric mode. Didn't bring the Raichu, but did bring the Coco, which did put on a good lot of pressure. Was able to pivot with Volt Switch, um, and I kind of had to make a read or a guess that the Meowstic did not have any attacking moves because I just kind of left it on the field there, let it fake tears me. But I said, you know what? If I can get rid of it and just have a 1v1 with my stall Credilli, I can maybe have a chance. And that's exactly what happened. I ended up living on 4 on a -4 Dazzling Gleam from the Coco, which we did the calc afterwards, and even a max roll would have left me with 1 health. So lucky EV spreads by me, I guess, but it was really really intense. And then game 2, I think I got a couple lucky plays. I decided to energy ball as he taunted my Credilli, so that really didn't do anything. And then I think he got a little bit greedy with the nasty plot on the Raichu, letting me hit him with the energy ball. And then the other thing was apparently the Scrafty was EV'd to live a Moonblast from Sylveon, but not a Hyper Beam. So he was not expecting the Hyper Beam and ended up firing that off one shot in the Scrafty. So that was really lucky on my part as well because I couldn't Hyper Voice after I switched into the Throat Chop, which was a kind of an interesting tech I didn't think about.
Yeah, it's a really close games and a really a game that was really about just staying in a safe position and not giving away too many big plays to your opponent. It was a good match, good set. Ted, anything to
Yeah,
add?
especially like for game one. Like I felt like the Savellis definitely had like the lead or the advantage there at the end. It's just that the giving a little bit too much of momentum back to Goomer and the unfortunate Pretty leaving living at 4 HP definitely hurt them a lot in game one. So that kind of ruined their chances of taking that first game.
Yeah, that was I would
Yeah,
have
I
been.
will.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I will say, that game one, I was a little frustrated because I got a couple full paras on Credilli when I was trying to either set up lease cheats or another stockpile or something. And so, yeah, I mean, just one more full para and I would have lost as well. So that was really scary.
Well, let's move on to the next set. We had Water of the Warriors take 2-0 over Dilfu. I don't think I saw this set.
This was not
Yeah, it
recorded.
was.
It's not recorded. Okay. Well, what do we do? I didn't see the battle report either. So, it's going to be a quick one.
So,
Water of the
so
Warriors take 2-0.
the battle report was basically Ndidi and Toxtricity. So game one, the Ndidi got Ndidi male just got 4 KOs. I assume all with expanding force. I think in this type of format, terrain is really scary, and it just shows that you've got to have an answer for it. Especially expanding force. I think that's probably the best one because it's spread. And it's interesting though because Dilfu they had that kind of stally, slower team, but they have some good bulk. They have Registeel, Mesprit, Celesteela, all who resist Psychic. So you'd think they would have been able to maybe tank some of those. But I did notice that they don't have a Dark type. So the Psychic mode probably looked really good against them. And it's understandable why the Waterloo Warriors kind of utilize that in DD. And then game two, they Dilfu did get Dilfu did get 2-0, or he did get 2 kills on the Warriors, but Toxtricity just cleaned up and got 4 KOs for the Warriors. So it was really a really good performance by them.
Ted, anything to add? No?
For my side, for me,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
uh, um, yeah, there's nothing really much to say. Just that the NGD just went crazy. Game one and Toxicity just blowing away the other team game two.
Yeah, that was a dominant display. So I guess game number 3 was my game. T-Tar Sauces. I took 2-0 over Conway Embors. I looked at his team, which is pretty deep and actually pretty scary. And I thought the best option was to go Trick Room and kind of have Berserker and Turtonator do most of the work. And then Mamo Swine was also really had a really nice matchup, given it had it could survive and had speed control. So that's what I went with, and it worked really well. The Embors, I guess they had a few different sets they were gonna bring of the same Pokemon, but they brought the wrong move sets on a couple couple mons. By mistake. That's just kind of an unfortunate mistake because those sets actually would have been way better against my Trick Room team. So could have been closer. Could have been in the favor of the Embor's favor, but I don't know. I pulled it out. My game plan worked, and yeah, just kind of unfortunate that they didn't bring the right sets. But hey, I'll take it. I'll take a win. So yeah, I don't think we've gotten to see a real showing from the Embors, I guess, yet, because like I said, he didn't have the correct set. So I'm curious to see how that would have played out, and he seems like a good player. So I also called ended up calling pretty much all the protects correctly. So I had some luck on my side. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that, I guess.
Yeah, I also felt like Mammoth did a lot. I felt like it could have, it got 0 kills in game one, but I felt like it could have done it could have done a little bit more because he brought all 4 mons that are weak to Mammoth especially to Choice Spinded Ice Shard. So um, that's something that I'm looking at right now at the kill report.
Yeah, he was pretty good. He just had to as long as I kept him alive, he was going to dish out damage to whoever. So, but I feel like that's Mammoth Swine in general. He's just got to stay alive and he can do damage. He's very offensive typing, but not very defensive. So it worked though. I'm glad. I like the Rangaroo. I'm glad I get to use him. Matchup number 4. Rebellion takes a 2-1 over the McChesney Park Slowpokes. This set I watched, and this was a really good set. I guess there was a really unfortunate something happened with the Switch controller, and like there was a misclick, and I don't know. It sounded wild, but I don't know. I think he took out his own Dragapult with an Ice Shard. Essentially, I can't remember if that would have changed the set of the game, but unfortunate either way. But really, really good display by Rebellion with using the Choice Band Dugtrio and the Zapdos together. A lot of great synergy there. I forget who else he brought, but yeah, he had a little core of 3 Pokemon that did really well. So yeah, well done. Anything to add?
I feel like on Adam's part, like felt like bringing the Absol kind of set him back quite a bit. He did mention that like bringing the Absol was not entirely a good choice. So I feel like switching out something else for the Absol will definitely help him a lot. That's the only thing I have to say about um the difference, the two sets, game one and game three, bringing the Absol.
I think the Rebellion did well. I think they brought like a high risk, high reward sets and it paid off. You know, with the Choice Band and the Choice Scarf. Um, you know, and then the Choice Scarf for Rain Dance. I thought was like interesting, right? Because you normally don't want a choice into a status move like that, but it came into play actually, and it helped him win that game too. So it was really good stuff. And the other thing I think is Kangaskhan put on a lot of pressure, especially with the fake out and last resorts. I think that might have been game 3, or possibly that was game 2. I can't remember, but either way, I think Kangaskhan's going to be really good this format, and I think yeah, Rebellion already showed that this first matchup.
Well done, Rebellion. Your bird or your birds. I know you have big high hopes for them, and they did well week 1, or at least Zappy did. All right, so then the next matchup, the Northampton Celestials fall 1-2 to the Tokyo Terrors, the only new competitor this week in week 1 to get a win over a veteran. So, actually, didn't watch this match, but I heard it was a wild one.
I don't think it was recorded. Not sure.
No, it wasn't recorded.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
I heard it was wild. Obviously, it went to 3 games, so we like to see that. Game 3s are always more intense. I heard there may have been some hacks. I don't know. But either way, Tokyo Terrors, clearly they had to have prepped and played well if they were going to take the 2-1 over the Celestials. So good job to them. Massachusetts Manitans take the 2-0 over the Hidden Leaf Grimmsnarls. Goomer, did you watch this one? Oh, he's probably taking care of the baby. We didn't cut out on me, did you? Ted, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh, he's probably taking care of the baby then. Yeah, I didn't get to watch this match either, actually.
I don't actually remember if no, I believe Taco did record it. I just haven't seen it, or I haven't seen it popped up yet. But
Actually,
from looking at the website results, it looks like it was fairly close, both games.
they took a 2-0 over him, so that's a nice win. Yeah, unfortunately, I wanted to watch this one today, but I didn't get the chance. I thought Goomer watched this one. God, we're terrible PR hosts. I
mean, it looks like majority of the game, both game one and game two, the Mudsdale did a lot of work. Um, yeah, I got 3 kills overall, combined both games. Um, again, and also for the Grimmsnarls, Mantine game 2 surprisingly got 2 kills, so that's very interesting to see. A mon you rarely see in VGC or in draft in general, getting some sort of spotlight.
Yeah, so we don't have a. I mean, that's. Sorry, I didn't watch the game. I don't have too much to comment on it. But I'm gonna try to watch all these games every week so we can have a little more commentary on it. But at least Ted has some info for you guys. Next game. I did watch Rolled Gold Pretzels take on the Brisbane Blazekins because I knew this was going to be an intense match, and it was. The Superpower Laurentis was putting in work, and it also it had scope lens, I think, and the Night Slash crits were doing work. It was actually really intense, I think, at game 1, and then so Gumi led Blastoise and Porygon, and he ended up setting up Trick Room and going for an Ice Beam with Blastoise. And then he switched out the Blastoise, and when the Blastoise came back in later in the game, Trick Room was done, I believe, and the Blazekins kind of got taken off guard by the Scarf that the Blastoise had, and I went for a Scarf Water Spout that kind of sealed the game for the Rolled Gold Pretzels. And I felt the same way as the Blazekins did where I would not have expected that Blastoise to have Scarf. That totally took me off guard. Because if you're leading a Blastoise with a Porygon and you're going for a Trick Room setup in a Trick Room mode, you're not expecting the Mon right beside it to have Scarf. It's kind of an odd combo. But it worked really well for Gumi, and he utilized it as a win condition in the back, and well played. He ended up taking the 2-0, but just really good. I mean, good prep and awesome sets on both ends, on both sides.
Yeah, again, like nothing too surprising from Gumi's end. Like you can always suspect something crazy to come every week from his end. So props to him bringing the Scarf Blastoise next to the Trick Room Porygon.
And then after that, we've got the St. Lucie Luxrays. They took the 2-0 over the Aussie Arcanines. I believe that's Vikak's team.
Yeah, I helped him prep a little bit for this game.
So you costed him, Ted? How could you?
No. I just gave him my input on his team because I played White Rabbit before, and I know the type of plays he likes to do. So I just gave Vivek a little advice on that. And
Rabbit's becoming a player that I guess he just keeps getting better every season, and he's harder to prep for every season and every game, it seems like. The clean 2-0, the 1-0 on the season so far. And Vikak still, trying to represent Team Voltage. I hope so.
Yeah, game 2 for him was kind of unfortunate. I don't remember if it's game 1 or game 2 where he missed like several stone edges that cost him the game. I'm not sure. I have to look back at the footage, but missing the stone edges definitely hurt him a lot.
Was it with
it was game 2.
Was it with Aerodactyl he missed with?
Yeah, with the Aerodactyl.
Stone Edge is such a nice move, but those like 80 accuracy moves, you hate to see it.
Yeah, there was a lot of like extra effects going on in that game. Like game 1, the Stone Edge actually crit the I think it was Serena maybe or somebody, or no, the Piloswine, I think. The Stone Edge actually crit, and then the Luxrays did a double rock slide, and they got double curse bodied from the Dracloak, and then the Meteor Mash from Metagross actually boosted its attack. So there was like so many extra effects going on, and then the two Stone Edge misses in the game too were brutal. And the Aerodactyl missed a dual wing beat game 1.
Aerodactyl.
You hate to see it.
Definitely running wide lens next week.
Yeah, and I think it was interesting that the Xatu Scarf outsped the Alecki. So clearly the Alecki was not max speed, and then
Now you have to
the
be.
Luxray's barely
I
three
think.
tailwinds off.
I think you have to be.
Yeah, he showed me the pace. It wasn't max speed. Like Elecking. It had enough speed to outspeed most of his team, but I don't think he took an account to the Scarf Zatu.
Yeah, and it looked
Probably.
like it was doing big damage, so I'm thinking it was either Magnet or Specs.
So I believe you have to be 118 base speed to guarantee outspeed a max speed of Lucky. I think. And Zatu's not that fast. I think it's 95. I think. So yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have expected Scarf Zatu, but came in handy.
Well, yeah, which was interesting because game two he took it out, but I think if you know it's going for Tailwind, he could have actually doubled up on the other slot because then the Zatu just has to sit there and either swap out or just do another Scarf Tailwind game two. So
Yeah, Scarf Tailwind's such a sneaky tech, and it's a risky play, but when it pays off, it feels good. But all right, let's move on to the premier match this week. Stinglicker Rabombi takes the 2-1 over the Iris Incineroars. We'd love to see Batista getting a win with the Monotype Poison team. We know he's a good player.
Against the triple psychic team.
It's a triple psychic team. Gets the 2-1 over the Irish Incineroars. What did you think about this match?
I really liked. I liked
Go
how
ahead,
much
Goomer.
work I thought one the Amoonguss spores put on a lot of pressure, and like I think the Rabombis showed that their tier ones are really strong. The Amoonguss and that Naganadal. But actually, Skunk Tank did a lot of work too. Skunk Tank was eating those Earth powers and dishing out damage. Those sucker punch and crunches. Um, so that was really interesting coming from a tier five there. I think the paralysis game two were brutal. But like that's also gonna like he said in this video, like you spread around paralysis to three mons, you're gonna get a couple full paras. So. Um, I really like the Hex tech on Amoonguss. I thought that was cool. I think the biggest surprise to me was game three, I believe, when the Venusaur got weakness policy. Um, Going for Sludge Bomb into Amoonguss instead of. I think there was a sleeping Naganadal, and it could have probably just Earth Powered, take it out. But it chose not to. It chose to go for the Amoonguss, which I thought was interesting. But
Ted, anything to add?
Yeah, I also thought that this game was very interesting. Like I feel like the ends of game two and three, I believe, like there are certain times where he could have the Incineroars could have predicting the sucker punch, but I felt like those by then was towards the end of the end game. So I feel like it would have slightly mattered, but I'm not sure. That's just one thing that sparked my interest when watching the live premiere.
Whoops. Get out of here. Why? Okay, sorry about that. I don't know why I get those notifications. Good win, Batista. That's all I got to say. So, we move on to the Suffolk Suicune. Take the 201 over the Sussex Sableye. So many S's.
yeah.
But I watched this set. I think I watched it multiple times. This was such a good set. It was such a slow paced game. All the games were slow paced, and there were so many tricky matchups. Like the Chandelure really wanted to get in position to do a bunch of damage, and they both had Lightning Rod Pokemon with electric type attacks. They both had the bulky water types. Like in my mind, Feeny and Suicune play very similarly. They're bulky water types. They both get Calm Mind. They both are just their stats are very similar. Actually, they're just really bulky all around, and they can go physical. They can go special. They're like mid speed. I think it was Assault Vest Suicune based on the damage that was coming out. And I don't think I saw Tailwind come from it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it seemed like it was Assault Vest. And so both teams were trying to take out each other's water type, the bulky water type, but both of them wanted to do it with their electric Pokemon, and then the other, but they always had the lightning rod on the other side, that could switch in, and it was just a really tricky matchup, a really good set.
Yeah. I feel like the main stars of this game, watching on the Cystic Sableye side of the video, um, both both Suicune and Tapu Fini did their jobs well, but I felt like the Suicune uh, offered the Suicunes more versatility, and with Tailwind and those yeah, mostly Tailwind. But yeah, like I said before, I feel like the Suicune did a little bit his job a little bit better than the Tapu Fini.
Yeah, and we had the Scalds couldn't burn anyone because of the Feeney's Misty Terrain. But then again, the what was really obnoxious about the Suicune was the Snarls. And it did miss quite a few Snarls, but the Snarls were just so oppressive, especially since it already had I'm pretty sure it had Soul Vest, or it was very specially defensive at least. And it was just taking very little special damage. And then, like when the Lightning Rod users would go up against each other, Manectric and Togedemaru, Toots kind of had the advantage because his Manectric had the Flamethrower, which could, just really do damage to the Togedemaru. So it was a really tricky matchup. And I think Ruby probably could have clutched it out if he made some big reads. And he did go for a couple reads. And he just didn't get him. He would have had to make some really nice reads, and it was just really hard to make. I think Toots actually made a really nice read game one. He just went for a Thunderbolt into the Fini, I believe, even though the Togedemaru switch in was looking pretty obvious, but he just went for the Thunderbolt anyway, and it paid off. So very, very, very close set. Very good set. So the next game, the Norwegian Darmanitans, a runner-up from last season, the number one rated team this season, so far, early in the season. 2-0 that killed their Crocodiles.
Yeah, I think the Darmanitan showed that they have a really solid team with some good techs. They brought out the Slurpuff, which was a great support. Had Sunny Day and Cotton Spore, and so they were able to neuter the rain mode of the Crocodiles, and it seemed like that was the main mode that they were going with. And I think it might have thrown them off a little too much just once that Sunny Day came out because um, I think in this game, like with what the Crocodiles brought, if they had speed control, they could probably have done decent. But the fact that um, the Slurpuff got rid of the Swift Swim and then kind of just neutralized the Tailwind with Cotton Spores, and then can just keep Cotton Sporing. Um, the Darmantans always had the speed advantage, and they could just keep the pressure on. And so I think that's one thing to watch is that for the weather teams, people we saw it in the Rebellions game too, with that Scarf Rain dance, like people are going to bring answers to your weather mode, and so you need to be able to adjust or gain that weather control back, because if you're relying on it, because otherwise it's going to make it real tough to win those matches.
Yeah, I felt like Eclipsia played this game really well. Having that nice Sunny Day tech on Slurpuff definitely helped him a lot. Um, on this Slurpuff, he only had three moves. I bet everyone has noticed that by now, but that's a Jennings problem for that. But still, he didn't even need the fourth boost slot. He just had the three moves, and that was basically enough to win him game one and game two. Tapo Lele, getting in some work there. So uh, nothing really unexpected coming from Calypso's side.
All right, in our final matchup from week 1 was the Otto and his Pacific Slow Bros take on the Bristol Bewares, and they 2-0 them. I didn't see this one. So.
Oh,
go ahead.
so this one, basically the Bewares led Latios and Orbital, and the Slowbros led Salamence, and it might have been Galarian Articuno, but I know it was Salamence, and basically they went for the Draco Meteor into the Orbital, calling the Ally Switch, and um, the Bewares did Ally Switch, but the Draco Meteor missed. And then the Latios just ice beamed and took out the Salamence. Um, but even from that turn one, hiccup, Otto is able to slowly pull it back. I think the Pre-Marina just put on a ton of pressure. I think he had said that the only fairy resist on the Beware side was Charizard, and I mean I don't think they brought Charizard to the game, but the only fairy resist was Charizard, and Charizard's weak to water. So it's like, uh, they Primarina just had a really, really good matchup. And so I think game one actually came down to a really interesting end game where it was Conk and someone else versus Gorgegeist and Primarina. The Primarina protected, the Conk Thunder punched into it, but if the Conk, I think it was Orbeetle, it was the other one, and so the Gorgegeist took out the Orbeetle. But if the Conk had chosen to take out the Gorgegeist, um, I think it might have been able to potentially 1v1 the Prim, depending on their sets, how much the Thunder Punch did, and then maybe clean it up with a Mach Punch afterwards, depending on how much damage it does. So it was a really interesting end game, that game one. And then game two, the Primarina and the Articuno just put on a ton of pressure. Once that Articuno got tailwind up.
Yeah, I watched this set while I was working, and I didn't really get to. I only saw bits and pieces of it, but when I was looking over at it, it seemed like the Prim was just always putting down so much pressure and just putting in a ton of damage.
But even the Articuno, I was surprised. Like an Air Slash one shot an Executor, which
Oh,
I
I did see that.
would not have expected that.
I know. I remember because I was a little shocked to see that, and I was wondering what the EVs were, because I know Executor doesn't have the best special defense. I think it's only like 75, and his HP is only like 80 or something. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, but it's an Air Slash, so
Yeah, it is just an Air Slash, and Articuno I think only has like base 100 or 95. Wait, yeah,
it's 125.
wait, but it was
Yeah,
Quintana.
Galarian Articuno. I think
Oh,
it's base 125, doesn't it?
oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking of the other Articuno. Yeah, it does have base 125, so it is powerful, but it's an Air Slash. I don't know, stab. It must have, maybe with some bulk the Executor could survive it. I don't know. I'd have to check the calc, but yeah. Then again, 125 base is pretty high. So
Yeah.
well done. Very intense sets. Some crazy sets. Some unfortunate sets for some people in this week one, but I don't know. We'll see. Some of these teams might carry on their undefeated season next week. Some of them might make a comeback. We'll have to find out in week 2 of the VDL. So now we're
Yeah. And I was gonna say shout out to, I think Tapu Fini is the kill leader this week.
really. I was hoping it was going to be
And
Skuntank. I was hoping it's going to be Skuntank. I hope Skuntank's the kill leader this season.
it could be.
Finny. So Finny's this kill leader. Well, how many kills did it have?
I think last I checked, it was Finney with like 7. I think Doug Trio actually had like 5 or 6. Doug Trio was like up there. Um, and
Yeah, Finney is still the kill leader by 1, followed by Doug Gio at 6.
Doug Trio. Love to see it. Well done, Lucian. I don't like Finney being the kill leader because Finney's the bane of me. Both seasons I've been in the league, I have lost to Finney in the first round of the playoffs, so I don't like Finney. So if I play Ruby T in first round of playoffs, I'm just gonna book a trip to the beach and just FF.
might have to.
Might have to. All right, so let's move on to our new top 24. Now, I know what you're thinking. The top 12 teams should all be 1-0, but that's not the case. We wanted to be a little more in depth than that. So we did change some of the teams around based on their week 0 power rankings and how we think how well we think they won and how well they played. So here are your top 24. This obviously is only week 1. It can change a lot. It's already changed a lot based off of from week 0. So
yeah, we can. Should we go down the list then, starting from 24? Or
I guess so. Yeah. So 24 killed their crocodiles. I don't know where they were before.
yeah, they were lower on there. I think they might have been in the 20s, but they had the rain team, and I think they just. I mean, obviously they did face the Dramantans, who is ranked number 1, but it didn't seem like they had too much of an answer for the reversal of their weather team, and so yeah, they're already lower on there, so that we had to drop them a couple spots. But hopefully they can utilize that rain mode a little better and jump up here.
23, we got Dilfu.
Yeah, so they got beat by the Waterloo Warriors, the number 2 team. But yeah,
they were better here.
They were already low on here too, but they they had an odd team. It was a little stally. Didn't think they'd be able to put on too much pressure, and I think we'll need to see some results here before we can move them up. And it'll be nice once we can see the match too, because that match didn't get recorded. So sometimes you can get a little bit more info out of the matches where they are recorded.
That is very true. Sometimes it is hard to analyze matches when you can't see every little detail, every move. The Hidden Leaf Grimsnarls. I got high hopes for this team, but right now they're 22.
Yeah, and again, this was one we just didn't get to see. I mean, they lost 2-0 to Taco, so can't really get too much info from it there. But had to drop them a couple.
That's
spots.
what happens. You lose week 1, you're gonna be dropping. So you're gonna be lower. Irish Incinerators at 21. I forget where they were more in the middle of the pack in week 0, I think.
They were. They did lose. Now they did lose 2-1, but it was against the Mono Poison team, Batista, which Batista is a good player.
Yeah, Batista's very good.
But right, but I just felt like there was maybe some better prep or play they could have brought against the Mono Poison team. So I don't know.
True. Number 20, the Embors, who I beat this week. I don't think they've gotten a good chance to display what they can do yet, just because I think the sets that weren't brought by mistake could have been really useful in the matchup. So we'll see what they do next week, week 2. But right now sitting at 20. And then 19, Bristol Bewares. Who did they play this week? They played
Auto.
Yeah.
So I mean, they didn't. I don't think they played too terribly, but I mean, they did lose 2-0. So yeah, you got to put some people down here.
Yep. And then the Sableyes, Ruby T. That is super intense match against Toots. That's probably my favorite match of the week, honestly. But it's a very good looking team, very close match. But right now sitting at 18. I think honestly they were really close, and they're both very good teams. I would not be surprised to see them move up.
Agreed.
Ruby T.
Agreed.
And then right above him, the Vicac, the OG Team Voltage Vicac from the PBF. Aussie Arcanines. They did lose. Did they lose?
They did lose 2-0, but I think some of it was based on some missed stone edges and whatnot. I still think they have a decently threatening team, but I could basically I think they probably should have won game 2. Then we would have gotten to see how game 3 went out, but Yeah, they had some pretty bad misses.
Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping to see a lot more from Big Vec these couple following weeks.
We know what he can do. We know he's a good player. Number 16 then is Sting Licker Obombi, the Batista, the Mono Poison. Didn't didn't move him. Well, he moved up quite a bit from number 24, but we felt like his win wasn't as dominant as some of the other wins, and he did have a really low week 0 power ranking, so we had to sort of take that into account. I do hope Skuntank's the kill leader, but yeah, couldn't move him up too much. We'll see what happens though. I know Batista likes the challenge though. Brisbane Blazekins. They were number 2. They still have a terrifying team. They were bested by Gumi's Roll Gold Pretzels and the Scarf Toys, but they could. I mean, I would be surprised to see them move up as weeks go on.
Yeah, I think they've still got a lot of potential. Yeah, really, really high threat level team still for sure.
Yep, very hard to prep against. 14, Crushing Silvales. Who did they lose to this week?
That was me.
That was the Bolton Bashers.
Overpower the electric types. I think they have a really, really threatening team too with that electric mode. So and I mean, the game one was still also really, really intense. So I know that they're a good player, and it'll be interesting to see what they bring out these next couple weeks.
The McChesney Park Slow Bros at number 13. They lost the Rebellion, right?
Yes.
Yes.
They,
Yeah.
Some unfortunate events,
The
but
little,
also
little controller mishap.
yeah, that was. I was briefly reading that story while I was working, and it was. I mean, it sounded so unfortunate and tragic, but also kind of hilarious. So, hope we can laugh.
Yeah.
Hope we can laugh it off and then get a week 2 victory. So, unless he's playing me,
Yep.
then I want him to lose. So, and now we move up into now we're into the top 12, the top 50% of the teams right now. St. Lucia's Lux Rays constantly always getting better. Take a 2-0 this week, putting them at number 12. Anything more to say?
No.
Very awesome.
Nope.
Good logo creator. Created my logo. I think a lot of people's logos. Northampton Celestial they lost this week, but they're number 11 because they do have a really nice team, and they just had some unfortunate events. Have another game. I don't know. I don't know, Womble. You got to represent next week so that our power rankings don't look dumb. So.
Plus, he's a commissioner. Like, come on, you can't play some of that load.
Come through, Force Womble. Come through. We know that Womble can play, so we put him at number 11. We'll see what happens. Tokyo Terrors. I just love the freaking logo. They pick up. They beat Womble, so kind of felt weird to put them lower than Womble, but so yeah, they're number 10. The only new team to win this week over a vet. So congratulations, number 10. Anything else about that? No? Okay.
No.
Nope.
Rebellion with the beautiful Double Dragons logo. Awesome prep. Awesome set. Congrats on the win. You're number 9. Keep doing it, Rebellion. Keep smoking those boots. And then number 8.
And just wait till week 3.
Number 8, Bolton Bashers. Moving up quite a bit. This is Goomer's team. He put off a nice win. You made some nice reads, but you got a little lucky game 1 in a certain way. Very intense match. I think deserving of number 8 though.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's kind of hard to say. It's week 1. Like anything can happen.
Yep.
And then right above you is Toots with a squeaked out a win over the Suffolk Stabilize. I think both those teams are so good, and Toots just had a really nice prep with the Suicune. Toots always has really nice prep, and he's just a hard team. He's a hard opponent to play against. I also like his team for his play style. He's just hard to get through. And he's a very bulky team, and I think that could be really effective this format. So, wouldn't surprise me to see Toots win more. Massachusetts Manitans. This is Taco's team. They take a win. They took a big win, I believe. So, yeah, number 6. That's where they're sitting. Anything to talk about there?
No, not really surprising that the Slowbros are at number 5.
Yeah, yep. Slowbros number 5. Otto, a former champion up there. Yeah, big win. Personally, I thought he should have gone above me, but I don't know. It's hard when we get into like this top 8 or top 9, even 10. They're really hard to arrange. Really, week 1's just really hard to arrange. We're kind of just going off of the matches from 1 week. So, yeah, but Slowbros sitting at number 5. I'm not surprised to see Otto up there. Not surprised to see Rolled Gold Pretzels at number 4 either. Really nice prep as usual from Gumi. He always, he's good at catching his opponents off guard. He did it again in very simple ways. And I don't know, just a good approach to the matchup. Deserving of number 4. And then I myself, the T-Tar Sauces are sitting right above him. I don't like being ranked this high, but my win felt pretty good. So I don't know. Goomer put me up there. Blame him.
I mean, we could say it's a little biased, but that's just me.
We could. I think, like I said, I mean, these top 10, you could arrange them in many different orders. I think the Norwegian Darmanitans are still deserving of 1, but I mean, who knows? We'll see what happens. I could be number 24 next week. The number 2, the Waterloo Warriors. Big win. Big win. They move up, I think, a decent amount. We know my guy's a good player. So
He reps with Gumi, so
yeah, both them players did really nice, really good players in prepper. So yeah, sitting high at number 2. See if you can maintain your spot or move up into even the number 1 slot, which is currently occupied by the Norwegian Darmanitans. Runner-up last season, former champion, very good player. We all know it. Yeah, just really nice job this week. You hold on to the number 1 spot. I don't know if you want that pressure or maybe you feed off of that pressure, but either way, well done. And this is your top 24. Well, just 24 teams in the league. But here's your 24 ranked. Any questions? Email the government office or call the police. And I think that's just about it. So, any final thoughts about all this, Goomer or Ted?
all I have to say is that I can't wait to see all the games happening, especially from a spectator perspective. Yeah, all message to all the players, just in your prep, just give your best in all your prep, and especially going to the games, always calm down your nerves and just focus on that one particular game and just move on and just like do your best.
Agreed. And hit up Ted if you need a pep talk. It's better than my strategy, which is just chug a beer. But this is your top 24, and this is the end of the power rankings for week 1. Good luck to everybody in week 2.